So what even is magic? I don't even really mean that in a very literal sense, but artistically. People talk about magic all the time, but even in that regard, I think as time goes on, it's becoming harder and harder to deny that gaming magic is, it's just like Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy or God, because as you grow older, with each passing day, you look back and you're just like, holy shit, I used to believe in this nonsense. It won't stop me from exploiting magic to get a new job, though.
I don't even like my job, and I don't make enough money, so why not become a street magician instead? But beyond that, I've always just wanted to entertain people, and I don't really get to do that, sweeping customers or flipping shelves or bussing the phones, other retail stuff. So I'm instead just gonna wow people with the art of magic. Now, have I practiced this whole magic thing at all? No. Step aside, Jesus. I'm the king now. Screw you, old man. Watch, I'm gonna pull a rabbit out of my fucking hat because I'm a real original.
You know, I'm actually thinking maybe I should practice this magic thing before I go pro. Now, I love Mario Kart. I always have, and I always will. Like, I grew up with Mario Kart DS and 7 and 8 and 8 Deluxe later on, but Mario Kart Wii in particular was always something special to me. Now, looking back, yeah, I definitely think 8 Deluxe is the best Mario Kart far and away, but in spite of that, Wii just has this soft spot in my heart I can't get rid of, and I always chalk that up to good old-fashioned nostalgia.
This was one of the first games that I really fell in love with, and beyond that, I just have a lot of really great memories with it too. I mean, this game means a lot to me. It was basically the definitive family game in my household, if that existed, just something everybody played, everybody flocked to. It was the great equalizer in a lot of ways, you know, family structure, hierarchy, things that I never questioned at the time. Those things didn't really matter when it came to this game, and that was something that was pretty special for me.
Looking at Mario Kart Wii now, there's definitely a lot to be critical of. Like, a lot of the retro tracks are nowhere near as fleshed out or grandiose as the new ones. The visuals are honestly a little underwhelming, even compared to its predecessor in Double Dash. The gameplay is a lot stiffer than the Mario Karts of today. The items are extremely imbalanced, yada yada yada, whatever. And while I still think Mario Kart Wii is definitively a great game in spite of its flaws, I've always worried that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just have nostalgia bias. Maybe I've fallen prey to the Nintendo magic hoax. You ever notice that? So many people talk about, oh, games these days suck and they're just not as magical as they were back when I was a kid, and it's like, well, yeah. It's because you were a kid.
I mean, games had problems back then too, and I'd argue to an extent they had even more. Just, you were still a child, you still had hope and love and faith in humanity in your bright-eyed, bushy-tailed adolescent mind, and now you've got to pay renter's insurance and you got to file taxes and you realize everything fucking sucks. Because if we're being real, things aren't perfect, but they're pretty great right now.
Yes, of course. There's a lot of things to be cynical of. There are so many problems with the game industry, it's kind of ridiculous. But all things being equal, I kind of think that ever since 2022 or so, we've entered a sort of modern gaming renaissance. Like, look where we were just 10 years ago. My god, like, looking just at the Mario side of things, we were in the absolute trenches with bland games that really lacked their own identity and did nothing but just redo the basic Mario status quo. But look where we're at now. We're getting games like Super Mario Wonder that have so much personality and charm oozing out of each and every orifice, and it's beautiful. This is the stuff I would have killed for back in like 2014. And it can be said for a lot of other games and franchises too. Like, we're getting so many amazing experiences from so many different directions. Long-running series are giving fans exactly what they've wanted for so long. And Shadow Labyrinth is happening. I don't know what the deal with that is, but whatever. There's so many incredible indie games every year inspiring thousands of people by the day. And AAA studios, you know what, they can have countless problems, but even sometimes they can pull a beautiful shiny rabbit out of their ass. It is awesome. And that takes me to Mario Kart World, one of the 2 games people were interested in playing on Switch 2 day one. I had previously said before that the only way in God's green hell I'd buy a Switch 2 in the near future was if I got a raise, because between rent, food, and only making $12 an hour at my stinking dead-end retail job, there was no way this was going to be feasible at all. So good news is I got a Switch 2. Bad news is I accidentally became important at work and now it is ruining my life, even more than it was before. But hey, I went all out with this because I make the big bucks now. I've been working my non-existent tits off on the game I'm making and I got nearly 120 hours on my last paycheck, which entails lots of sweet overtime. I don't care, Ma, I deserved this. And being the big Mario Kart fan I am, you just know that the first game I had to try out on this thing was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's remaster. I'm sorry, I had no other choice. Breath of the Wild here is a great test of the Switch 2's numerous advantages over the Switch 1. Like before this, Breath of the Wild was lingering around somewhere in my top 10, maybe top 5 games ever. Now, it's easily top 3, maybe higher. Even though there are no real upgrades other than it runs better and looks better and plays in 60 FPS, that alone makes me love it. Somehow more than I already did. And it's astounding. Wait, what was I talking about again? I don't know. I saw a lot of people either outright hating on Mario Kart World or at the very most saying it was really good but bogged down by a lot of problems. So I went in thinking, yeah, I'm probably gonna really like this game, but not comfortably. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into since I didn't play this for well over a month after it came out, but I heard others say that the open world was sorta empty, that the battle mode just used the in-game races and was set back to just 2 options again, that the Grand Prix's use of open world was really off-putting and not really what people wanted, and of course that price, that $80 price tag. It wasn't sitting right with people at all, and I felt that. I still think 80 beans for a game is outrageous. That being said, this is easily the most I've enjoyed a Nintendo game since Mario Odyssey back in 2017. Holy heavenly hell. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I guess I'll start talking about, well, the world, this game's main gimmick. I've heard some people say they'd always envisioned an open world Mario Kart, but I'm gonna be honest, I am not one of them. I never really saw how that could work at all. What, was it gonna be like Forza maybe? And I do see a little bit of similarity to Forza here, but Mario Kart World is really creative in its execution. In fact, I don't think it's possible to argue that it isn't the most unique Mario Kart game, and by a lot. Sure, you still got the typical Mario Kart mode you'd expect. You still got a 30-ish race Grand Prix, versus mode, battle mode, all that good stuff. And with some added bonuses like Knockout Tour, but now everything revolves around this open world, and I think that's great. Although a lot of people didn't like how different the Mario Kart formula was presented here, but in my eyes, I love different. I remember looking at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe all those years ago, even before the Booster Course Pass came out, thinking, well, I have no idea how Nintendo could ever even try to top this. And the truth is, they couldn't. They had absolute zero chance of making another Mario Kart game that abided by that same formula and expecting it to live up, much less surpass 8. And I'm glad they didn't try to, because, well, the Switch 2 is backwards compatible. If you want the traditional Mario Kart experience, 8 Deluxe will always be there waiting for you, and because World doesn't just try to be 8 again, but better, it'll always be worth going back to. If I want the same thing as Mario Kart 8 again, I'll just, well, go play Mario Kart 8. And that's one of the reasons I think World's formula works so well. It's not just the standard select a cup to play through, then you get 4 races in quick succession. No, this time you actually have to race from track to track, and I thought that was weird as hell at first, but I warmed up to it really fast. Not only is it unique, but it's just, I don't know, really cool. Especially getting to take different routes in versus mode and whatnot from track to track. It's awesome. And I think it's a testament to how excellently this world is designed. I love how it's split up, with similar track themes being in close vicinity to each other, yet feel naturally different. Like, it makes a lot of sense, it's obvious, but it works so well. The world itself is just super fun to me. I love getting to explore just out of bounds of the tracks we've known for so long, along with the new ones. The only real criticism I have of this world, though, is that, well, the music's weird. You'll hear tons of classic Mario game remixes, and they're astounding. They kick immeasurable ass, but there's no jukebox option or anything. You can't choose the songs you want to listen to, and that's sort of lame. But it's still such a blast. I know people are really itching for a new 3D Mario game since it's been so long since the last ones. And hey, I'm right there with you, but I'm gonna be honest, this might be the most criminally insane thing I ever say, which, coming from the haver of bad takes, is saying a lot. But this game kinda scratches that itch for me, at least a little. That's not to say it's perfect, though. There are things to do in the overworld, there are challenges to complete, doohickeys to collect, you can track down and murder this little bitchy prick. But I don't know, I wish there was more of an incentive to do things, because sure, there are those challenges and whatnot, but there's not much of a reason to do them. Oh, the most dangerous traffic ever. What the hell are you talking about? I have to cross Lafayette Street every day to get to my stinking dead-end retail job. Let me tell you about the most dangerous traffic ever, okay? Not much of a reward for most of the stuff, I guess, and I kinda wish I felt more of a compulsion to play through this world more often, but to me it doesn't matter too much. I mean, I got a lot of satisfaction just exploring through this world for hours, and it's the same thing with the battle mode. At first, I was like, okay, why are they doing the base Mario Kart 8 thing again, where the battle courses are just the standard tracks again? But here's the thing, I don't really care for battle mode much. It's fun to play with another person, but like, I don't have another person, so what's the point? I really like Mario Kart 8 because of all the different variations of battle mode at your disposal, like Renegade Roundup rules. And I think World's battle mode does suffer a wide bit from only having those same two options again. So because of that, I just flat out didn't try it out for a while. But the funny thing is, playing through this overworld a lot, I noticed, hey, this sinkhole bit kinda reminds me of that battle map from Mario Kart Wii. Hey, this circle in Bowser's Castle kinda reminds me of Big Donut. Hey, this random ass area in Peach Stadium looks like some sort of battle map. And what do you know, that's what they all turned out to be, and I think it works super well. Like, I love how the battle mode cements this feeling of everything here taking place in this one unified world. And I love how Mario this world feels too. You see guys like Boom Boom, Charging Chuck, Behemoth, Magic Koopa, and Avid, like I said. It doesn't feel like a generic Unreal Engine open world or whatever. No, it has all the charm and all the spirit you'd expect out of a modern Mario game, and I want to stress that. The tone of this game is, well, it's wonderful. It's just like the rest of the Mario series right now. There's so much personality and twang injected here. Like, I don't know what it was about 2023 where they decided to, I guess, I don't know, soft reboot Mario, giving us new and better designs for the majority of the cast. New voice actors that each do a fantastic job, and a new bubbly tone I don't really know how to describe with words, but it's much needed. But like the old GameCube Mario games, doesn't matter which ones, Sunshine, Double Dash, the sports spin-offs, they all had this cartoony tone to them that really made them what they are. And after a couple of decades of generic Mario, I'm just really glad that feeling's been restored, just in an all-new way. A weird way that manifests for me is the lightning effect. God, it's been the same boring thing in every Mario Kart up until now, but now, so much character, so much charm in all of this. And that goes for the visuals as a whole here. This game looks awesome. It goes without saying, but I highly recommend playing it in either handheld mode or with a 4K display, because that's what this shit was built for. Everything pops, everything looks beautiful, but it's not like the recent Mario Strikers or whatever where it's all aura and no substance. Nah, there's a ton of great content here, like... There are always four things that matter more than anything else when it comes to Mario Kart: the music, the gameplay, the characters, and the tracks. And firstly, the music rocks. I don't think I even have to say that. The gameplay here, I don't know how, but these guys managed to make Mario Kart feel even better than last time, and it's extremely fun and satisfying to just drive places, explore, do tricks, screw around. It's a lot like Mario 64 in that way. I like that the gliders don't really exist anymore, now the carts just pop wings out sometimes. I don't know, that's cool. And driving on the water feels really neat too. We didn't need that same cart customization thing back here, like, leave that in the past. I like this. The grind rail stuff is super cool too, and I like that you don't have to physically hold items behind you at all times now. I have no idea what Mario Kart X is going to try to do to add on to this, but that's what I said for 8 as well, so I guess we'll just have to see. This is easily my favorite roster in any Mario Kart 2. Any character you could possibly want is here, other than the Koopalings and Kamek and Honey Queen and Donkey Kong Jr. and Rob and Funky Kong and Dry Bowser and me. And like I said, they look better than ever. Donkey Kong's redesign was a big deal when we caught our first glimpse of it, but I love it so much. It feels endearingly retro, yet so new at the same time. Now, it's common knowledge that DK lore makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. I mean, one second he's kidnapping Pauline for weird sexual reasons, the next, he's her dad. But like, fuck the lore shit. Who cares? This design is so much more expressive and interesting than the old one, if you ask me. And again, that goes for pretty much everyone here. I'm super stoked to see Pauline and Avid here, and the rest of the new guys here are great too. I love the cow. The cow is cool. How'd it take this long to get playable Goomba? Even a lot of the characters who aren't playable here have rules that make more sense for them. Magic Koopa's an item now, which is weird, like not the worst item in the game. I can never find a use for that stupid, useless feather. The Koopalings have little cameos in the overworld to their product lines. I don't know, they could be DLC or something. We'll see. I don't know why the hell Rob was playable in Mario Kart DS, but him being a bike makes a lot more sense to me, and it's still a really cool nod to get. Of course, the main thing here is all the cool outfits you can unlock for most of the characters, which are neat. Like, it adds a lot of incentive to play as all these different guys, especially in the overworld, to unlock their outfits McStuffleberg's Deluxe.
And that's not to mention that I don't know if you can tell just by looking at me, but I'm not really a big fashion guy. But even then, I think a lot of these alternate outfits really slay. Like, I mean, just look at this. You've got Edgelord Waluigi, sick-ass Bowser Jr., my sexy-ass celebrity crush in Donkey Kong, lesbian Rosalina, lesbian Peach, lesbian Daisy, lesbian Rosalina again, lesbian Rosalina again, lesbian Mario, lesbian Luigi, racist Luigi.
But nothing matters here if the tracks themselves aren't good, and the tracks themselves, these are great. All-timers, like neck and neck with 8 Deluxe, maybe even a little higher. First things first, the retro tracks. When it came to Mario Kart 8, the retro courses didn't even feel like retro courses anymore. And the same could be said here as well, but even more so, I think. Desert Hills and Wario Stadium, for instance, have to be the 2 most improved tracks in any Mario Kart, and honestly, I don't think there are any stinkers here at all. Sure, it is kinda weird to get Moo Moo Meadows again, but it's like, I don't know, man, I'd rather it be here than not. Would it have been cooler to get something like Coconut Mall or Wario's Gold Mine from Wii? Would they have fit the open world scheme more? Sure, but this game's almost definitely gonna get DLC, and I could totally see him coming over. Moo Moo Meadows is here for a reason. It adds a lot of variety to the type of track we get, and beyond that, I think it's great at showing the visual differences between this game and 8. Like, 8 looks more realistic, I guess, but this version of Moo Moo Meadows exemplifies World's beautiful art style much more, and I love it for that. Sky High Sundae is sort of the newest retro track from the Booster Course Pass tour, and I think it definitely deserves it. It fits so snugly into World, and I've always been a Sky High Sundae defender myself. Wario's Shipyard is back, and it's yet another big upgrade. Same story for Dino Dino Jungle, which kinda has a Jurassic Park science experiment vibe going on. It's just such a cool tweak for this track. Of course, Toad Factory and Airship Fortress were the 2 big tracks that missed the Booster Course Pass, so them being here was kind of a given. But my god, they're glorious. I love that retro tracks aren't all just regulated to their own cups now, and I know why. It's because of their placement in the world map and how they lead to the other tracks, but like, I don't know, I just prefer it this way. It feels a lot more versatile. You never know what you're gonna get next. Unless this isn't your first playthrough, but... And the new tracks are just... JE to the SUS, they're the best. Great theming, great design, great everything. Boo Cinema, it is a movie theater haunted by boos. Genius. Acorn Heights is like a giant jungle thingy. Cheap Falls is like, there's water and fish. What more could you ask for? Okay, DK Spaceport, who the fuck came up with the idea of retro Donkey Kong in space? I don't know, but they deserve like 6 raises. Dandelion Depths is cool, Crown City is cool, Peach Stadium is cool, Great Question Block Ruins is, it's like really good, but that name is lame as all hell. But it's still a badass track though. Starview Peak, listen. Rosalina's Ice World, the cooler Rosalina's Ice World. Enough said. This, I think, is the best Bowser's Castle course of all time. It has everything a Bowser's Castle needs, but with so much more intensity and high-stakes feel. Plus, it's got that one left turn every Bowser Castle has for some goddamn reason. I don't think there's a single bad or even mediocre track in this entire game, much like base Mario Kart 8 before it. But of course, I'm leaving one really important one out, aren't I? See, most Mario Kart games adhere to a basic formula. You eventually unlock the special cup with no real fanfare or build-up, and at the end of that cup is Rainbow Road, the ultimate culmination of each Mario Kart game. This one, no. Unlocking the special cup is a cinematic experience. The game sets up your expectations for Rainbow Road like no other, but can it meet those unrealistically high expectations by any seam of a stretch? No. It blows them out of the fucking water. Jesus Christus, I don't think I have words for this. I'll just say it. This isn't to me just the best Rainbow Road, no. I consider this far and away the single best track in Mario Kart history. One of the best Mario levels of all time. By and large, Rainbow Road is always Mario Kart's peak, always going for the most avant-garde gourmet experience possible. And World gives us the best one by like, I don't know, combining all the Rainbow Road aesthetics into one incredible track that you have to play to believe. You shoot up through the star portal thingy, and then the music hits and it's like, oh my god, there's this beautiful cloudy nighttime aesthetic like the Rainbow Roads of the past, but over time it slowly transitions from the gay pride road to the bisexual lighting road, then to being lost in space, which just goes on for so long, and it feels daunting and hopeless at times, but then, out of nowhere, this happens. Man, someone up there must really like me. And it was then, at that very moment, I began to believe in magic again.
Gaming magic isn't just nostalgia binders. It's not just rose-tinted goggles. No, it's something much more than that. It's something that's real. It's the feeling. It's the moment when something perfect comes together cohesively. When it takes that game to the next level. Its cohesion, its tone, its quality at that higher level. Gaming magic exists to instill. Mario Kart, guess what? It was magical. It was flawed. Of course it was. Every game is to some extent, but it does reach that higher level due to its cohesion, due to its tone, due to its feeling. And the important part is, all of that is real. Just like gaming magic itself is, but it's not some mystical idea, it's not some concept. No, gaming magic is real, it's based in reason, and it exists, and there's no question in my mind about that now. Except for the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC. That kind of ruins everything I've been saying up to this point.
Not only is it great on its own, no, this Rainbow Road channel's everything that made past Rainbow Roads great. That cloudy nighttime look, the space travel stuff, the flying train, the bright colors, the music. It's everything I could ever ask from Mario Kart, from Nintendo at all. And that goes for Mario Kart World as a whole here. It's not perfect, but it is magical, and it's a 7 out of 8 nugget game in my eyes. And that's Mario Kart World to me. It's a magical experience that validates and justifies the Switch 2's very existence unquestionably. I love its tone, I love its tracks, its characters, its world. It's an incredible experience. Is it the best Mario Kart game though? I don't know, man. I don't think it's the best Mario Kart game, but I do think it's the best Mario Kart game, you know? Let's say hypothetically I had 2 or 3 friends I was going to play Mario Kart with. The best one for that is probably still a Deluxe, but as a game itself, especially a single player one, I honestly sort of prefer World. Now, does that mean the shit Nintendo did with the online service is justified? God, no, but that doesn't change my view of the game personally, since I'm not a huge online guy, but I totally get why it would for other people. And is it worth $80? I played this game for well over 10 hours, just so far, and I make 14 beans an hour at my stinking dead-end retail job. 14 times 10 is 140, so on paper, yes, I definitely got my money's worth out of this, and I think most people would, though honestly, I still think 80 beans for a single video game is outrageous. And even as much as I wholeheartedly love this game, I can't pretend it isn't.
But you know, the price, the circumstances of Mario Kart World's release, the shit that happened with the online service, those aren't really problems with the game itself. It's a problem with really just Nintendo and the capitalist system overall. And I should know, capitalism sucks. I have to work 50 to 60 hours every week just to stay afloat, when in reality, I'd rather be just doing magic tricks for you. Here, pick a card. Any card. Not that one, that's mine. Here, I know you're not real, just take it. Okay, so, here, I'm just gonna, I quit. Maybe I don't quit my day job for this. Fine, you win.